I don't know if it was
live. Here we
thing.
go. Live. You're live. Hey, guys. Here we are. Kiwi and Steve.
Hello.
How's it all going, fellas? I see there's a few of you already here, which is good. Who we got? Mexican Spec. Hey, man. How you doing? Tavo, all the way from Australia. Well done. South Australia. Chris Freemesser, driveway. Chris drops in as driveway of misfits or Chris Freemesser. Mostly driveway of misfits, but
Double dipping?
double, kind of, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
David Tyree, all the way from New Zealand. LVG, Barry Cooter, welcome along, man. The lower man, good news from my wife's 60 T-Bird project. She's had multiple successful runs with no tow trucks involved. And to top it off, she won a trophy in the driver class at the car show on Sunday.
Yeah, that's good.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well done. He's been fighting a transmission. He's had it in and rebuilt 3 times.
Well, and then the more you drive it, the more confidence you get in it.
Yeah,
You're not thinking every time I leave the house something bad's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the first 2 transmissions. I don't think they really even left the house.
Bad days.
Yeah. Paul Fung, good evening, everyone. Don't forget to hit the like button. Very true. Hit the like button. There's 18 of you guys in the room, and we've got 8 likes. So someone's not hitting the button. What do we got?
2 minutes late.
Yeah, we were 2 minutes late getting here, yeah. No, it's not normal, Jeff, you're right, but me and Steve were gas bagging and I was just giving him a few tips on how, or how it goes here on a Tuesday night, and then I looked down and I was like, oh, it's 2 minutes past 7. So that's on me. We were here, we were just kind of comparing notes, as it were. Now, what else have we got going on here? Brad Easton, Stephen Bunkyberg, good to have you here, man. Paul Pahui, welcome along, mate. Daring Guy, what's up, guys? Mate, just rushing around trying to be ready to be here. So, and here we are. Yeah. Now who we got? Silly old bloke from Aussie land. Hey, Mr. Kiwi and Sidekick Steve. There you go. Also, I mean, you got a few nicknames, haven't you? Scuba Steve.
Yeah.
Where did Scuba Steve come from?
Scuba Steve came from Ian Johnson from 4x4 TV.
Okay.
He was really the first to start calling me that, and then everybody else just started calling me that.
It's stuck.
Yeah,
it's stuck. Fair enough. But you've never actually gone scuba diving.
No, never.
There you go. Right, what do we got here? Daring Guy, 67 Cutlass guy here. There you go. You got someone in common, Oldsmobile Cutlass. There's an Oldsmobile guy here. Todd Denier, hey, welcome along, bud. Hey, how's that car of yours going? You were kind of planning on quite a bit this week from what you were saying last week, so hopefully that came together for you. Tavo, a couple of minutes late is good. Gave me time to make another coffee between Chev Truck video and the live. Well, there you go.
That's good.
Yeah. I guess it's a bit early over there to be cracking into the bourbons at 9:30 in the morning over there.
Man.
Yeah. So probably coffee's a good option. Yeah, what else is going on? Daniel Campbell. That's a new name, I think, maybe. Kiwi from Tasmania here. Love your show. Well, that's cool, man. Thank you. A Kiwi living in Tasmania. You have heard about the little map of Tasmania, haven't you, Dean? I'm sure you have. Tavo will know what that is.
Are we talking about the cartoon here?
No. No, something well removed from the cartoon.
Okay.
Yes.
It's about all I know.
Yeah, it's a very old expression and doesn't really apply much these days anymore. But when those that know will know. But it's a bit adult humour, that really, for here. Barry Kudo. I was thinking I was a quiet taste. I should go easy. Mate, you're good. Chris Freemesser, my father was an Oldsmobile guy, 67 442 convertible. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Brad Eastman, how's Steve's project going? How is Steve's project going?
Yeah, a little slow.
A little slow?
You know, it seems like the shop has always got something in it. And I'm not saying that from a bad point of view, but sometimes if if we got a lot to do in the shop, you can't always get on your personal project. And sometimes if you're busy in the shop, you may not want to get on your personal project. You just sometimes tired of working at the end of the day and don't want to work on anything else.
That's the thing.
You're just like, I've worked on cars, half the week. I'm done.
Now, Todd and driveway has a fuel problem. I think the pickup tube is black. Oh, okay. Mexican spec, Chris, driveway of Misfits. I had the wagon version of that, the Vista Cruiser wagon. Oh, nice. It was 67. Those are cool, aren't they? Do you like those?
What's that?
The 67 Vista Cruiser. Alpha Vista Cruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool.
Those are cool.
They've got that, though, the windows are out in the
extra
roof,
window. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Andy Nickel, hey, welcome along, man. Good to have you here. Paul Fung, hey, Todd, how many 67 Marlins did you say that were left? Todd is one of our regulars here, Steve, and he just recently got a 67 Marlin, which is a 1 year only Marlin, which looked at kind of loosely speaking a little bit early Charger look to them.
Okay.
And but yeah, 67. I think he said there was like 250 left running.
Oh.
So it's pretty rare. Chavo, but it's Wednesday morning, not just morning. Well, no, that's true.
Oh, so it's Wednesday morning there.
Yeah, in Aussie, yeah. And New Zealand, yeah. Chris Freeme's Mexican spec. My first memory was riding in the back of the car, red with white interior. Amazing how many memories are connected with cars from our youth and childhood. Barracuda, Tasmanian bush. That's it. You've got it. Yeah. I knew you'd know what I meant. Show us your map of Tassie. Yeah. Yeah.
No, let's see here. Looks like I know somebody that may know me here.
Oh, yeah.
Darren Guy, 7784. Yeah, we get off early on Friday. It's a holiday weekend here. So I may have some time to get something done with a little time off.
There you go. What else? Garth Harris, morning Kiwi, Steve. Just watched the Chev truck video. Hey Kiwi, would you move home to New Zealand? Are you too established in the USA? A map of Tassie, very thick bush. Yes. Mate, I don't know. I don't. It's hard to take. Like New Zealand's always going to be home, no matter what. That's kind of a side effect of living there. 80% of your life. So yeah, I would say it's definitely possible, but time will tell.
Now you've made some comments that you're gonna go back.
I think we'll probably end up retiring back to New Zealand, just because of family and the pace of life and stuff like that. It's a little quieter in New Zealand, Hot rodding is spectacularly popular in New Zealand.
From what I've seen and what you've showed me, it's amazing.
It's on a per capita basis. I think hot rodding is just as big in New Zealand as it is here. Really, I mean, like at that the beach hop, they'll get 2,000 cars. Now that's a big rod run here. That's a big hot rod event here. 2,000 cars.
Now,
it's not uncommon, but it's big.
Are things that big normally just once a year? Are there many?
Oh, there's quite a lot of shows, but the beach hop is probably one of the bigger ones, and I think it's one of the few that's multi-day. It's like a 4-day event, but it's a big event. There's a couple of other really big ones in New Zealand, but that's got an international reputation.
And I guess the hard part is we do have a lot of shows here, but we're. I guess when I say us, the United States is so big, it's not like you can go to all of them. Just because there's a show down in Florida, we're not just going to run all the way down to Florida.
No.
So it's not like just because there's more, we get to go to more.
Yeah, that's
It'd
right.
be a lot of traveling.
Todd Deny. Hello, Chris and guest. Hello. Mexican Speak. How do you know how many of anything is left? Some people have had them in their garage for decades. Oh, you got a good point, Mexican Speak. I think what Todd's talking about is known, registered or tagged, I guess, cars that are known to be running, going concern.
Yeah, and still some of the ones that like they're saying are hidden, maybe haven't come out for a while.
Yeah.
But I would think the internet and being able to join some of these groups you can join definitely helps know what more is out there and finding parts. Being able to join, like a Facebook group or something really helps to find parts for the odd stuff. You're in a group with other people that have the odd stuff like you.
Yeah. Yeah, Todd's just piped back in on that. 2,500 Marlins built in 67, around 200 left, including parts cars. About 75 are in running condition. Well, I imagine it's probably a fairly tight-knit little community. The people that have Marlins are probably all on the same Facebook group or some sort of group.
Yes.
For Marlins, because it's a very niche kind of little exclusive club, I guess you could say. Yeah.
Well, it's good to be in a group. People are looking for what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And help each other out.
Yeah.
We found a lot of stuff like that.
I mean, if you wanted to find out how many Mustangs are still on the road, you'd need a big abacus, wouldn't you? Yes. I think there's probably as many Mustangs now with all the new body shells coming out as there were ever made in the first place.
Yeah, and they show up daily.
Yeah, good Lord.
I don't know where they all come from.
Yeah. Tabo, I just can't picture you retiring, Kiwi. No, mate, I don't. Slowing down, I think, maybe might be a more appropriate term, but just and I'd like to try and bring it back to being a hobby. You know, not so much being a living and an income, but get back into doing it for fun, doing it just cause, and rather than it being an 8 till 5, got to be there, pressure, got to get cars done, delivered, that type of thing. So become more of a backyard garage tinkerer type thing.
Yeah, I mean, you made comments even at the shop now about slowing down. Seems like we get a little slow, and you say it'd really be nice to slow down.
Yeah.
Then next thing you know, you've got 20 cars on the books, waiting in line, and it's like, well, maybe we'll slow down later. And it just goes that way. It's
another day. Yeah.
It's when they keep walking in, you just take another one.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to just run people off. When you've got too much to do, and it's like, well, okay, bring it back in however long, and we'll get to it as soon as we can. And then suddenly we've got a lot of cars outside work at the moment, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. What have we got? We got that old Camaro. This is customer cars. That old Camaro. We got a Monte Carlo there, a Chevy truck, 2 Mustangs. What else?
The Impala just left.
Yeah. Oh well, the Impala's kind of still here. It's just away at the alignment.
Oh yes, that's right.
Here.
That's right.
So the Impala. We've got that Suburban.
The Suburban.
That 1970 Suburban. We've got a ton of cars.
EFI issue.
We're kind of running out of parking. Jeff Hutchins, man, my feet is lagging like crazy. Oh, that's no good, mate. It's not going to work. Okay, here we go.
I'm letting you do the technical part here.
Snow Crusher, hey, welcome along, man. Mexican Spec. Click the live button to keep up. That's what I have to do that. Actually, I need to do that too. Hit the live button. I'll do that right now if it'll work. live chat. It's kind of weird. They don't, all the comments don't always show up if you don't have it on live chat. There we go. Chris Freeman says, something as rare as a 67 Marlin might have an owner's registry someplace. Yeah, it's true. Oh, here we go. Todd's going to answer that. Mexican, that's what was said by the registry, who calculated in for a percentage that are not in the registry. They have been having people send in pictures of any they see, and they are counted too. Okay. That's probably reasonably. I mean, it's not like, it's not like it's plus or minus 0.5%. It's just approximate. So it's cool that there's a registry. Tava, you mean like the XY GTHO Falcons, only about 750 left from the 300 build? Yeah.
Are we talking clones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The XY GTHO is
so that's
such a valuable car.
That's a good. Everybody's got one. Well, how does everybody got one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. They're all clones.
Barracuda, I decided to behave myself, and Kiwis uncharacteristically starts being smutty. You know, it's very subtle about it, though. There's only a handful of you know how smutty I was being. But hey.
See, I'm
Steve doesn't know. He's looking. He's lost here.
I have no.
I can't really explain that to him on camera. Like that'll be for after we sign off. Mexican Spear. Todd denied. It doesn't surprise me that they say the car is really rare. In reality, they have no way of knowing what cars are out there. They only know about the cars that have contacted them. Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
But with only 2,500 made, that was really a drop in the bucket in the terms of production in the 60s. They were making a lot of cars. So
and
that's not a lot.
No, and we've talked about that before about how, just the sheer number of cars that get wrecked.
Yeah.
The sheer number of cars that may have something happen to them, a flood or, around here.
Yeah.
Sometimes stuff disappears faster than you may think.
Yeah.
It's not that it's rotted away.
I know a lot of things can happen.
Yeah.
Brad Eastman, there's also the Kaikoura Hop. Wellington has American Car Day. There are hot rod shows everywhere and all the time. Yeah. You'd be very surprised how many people have a car or two or three. Yeah. The last time I was at the beach shop, I was amazed at how many cars were there and how many spectators were there. The people that wanted to just look at the car was pretty mind-blowing.
Now, was that one of the videos you posted last time you went back? Oh, was it that show?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Driving through the middle of town and people were all like on the road and you kind of had to weave your way down the main road. It was just like roped off and it was just people, throngs of people like just behind the little rope that was keeping them back.
Yeah.
And, they were just about reaching out and touching the car. And that you were just driving through this gap in the people. Like because the way it zigzagged, all you could see ahead of you was people because you go that way and then you go that way. And all around you was just people just looking at the car and waving. And cool.
And I would say that's how one of our big spots in this part of the country is Gatlinburg. Got a lot of car shows in Gatlinburg, but it seems like now that there's so many morning cars and coffees and so many other little weekend things, some of these big mega shows have come down a little bit because people can just have a little weekend fun for a couple hours and then go back home. They don't have to travel to a big show.
So is the cars and coffee type culture getting big in New Zealand and Aussie? So because it's huge here, like there's any given Saturday morning and around Greater Nashville, there'd be like at least half a dozen.
Oh, definitely
easy, wouldn't it?
And each, I guess you'd say maybe groups of cars have their cars and coffee.
Yeah,
your European, your muscle cars.
That's true.
You kind of have that pop up. So I would say sometimes when the weekend's over, you find out about stuff that you had no idea was even happening. That's how much stuff is happening.
Yeah.
You didn't even know that cars and coffee was going on.
Todd denied, Chris, I'm only needing to fix the fuel delivery issue. replacing original brake cylinders and hoses, first replacement bias ply tyres. It's got its original factory installed tyres on, and then get a few pieces for the interior. Cool, man. It's a very doable. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not easy with the issues you got going on, Todd. I know, but it's not insurmountable, is it? It's not bad little list of things to do. It's not too bad. LVG, you are correct, Steve. The internet has really made restoring oddball cars so much easier, like the 60 T-Bird. With only a 3-year run, having the internet resource makes it so much easier. Absolutely,
it does.
Yeah.
And then if you get in some good groups that guys they want to help,
Yeah.
You kind of make friends in some of these groups, even though you don't know the guys. You know they're working on a project, and you're working on a project. And I mean, I've even traded parts,
right?
Not just sold them, traded parts. If I got something and they need it,
right? Okay. Rob's Rods, howdy everybody. Hello, welcome along, man. Good to have you here. David Tyree, show Steve a map of Tassie. Okay, maybe later. Here we go. Brad Eastman, map of Tasmania. Steve, think south of the border on a woman.
Map of Tasmania. Okay.
Have you seen the shape of the land mass of Tasmania? The island of Tasmania? Okay. It's triangular.
Okay.
An inverted triangle.
So
an upside down triangle.
Yeah, but do we have a real place here, and then we're playing off of a real place?
Well, no, there's a real place called Tasmania. Yeah,
that's okay.
And it's kind of an inverted triangle shape, and hence the name map of Tasmania.
Okay.
And show us your map of Tasmania. So yeah, that's if you haven't figured it out yet, you're probably not going.
I've got you.
Here we go. Buddy Caro Fano, car to a car show. Every old Chevy is an SS. Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Yep.
I tell you what, it's funny, and I don't know what it is with the SS Chevy crew, the mob, whatever you want to call them. But whenever we have an SS Chevy on the YouTube, like on the show, videos, without fail, we get a huge amount of comments about how it's not really an SS. There seems to be a lot of SS fanatics that are very quick to call out whatever, like I've had comments saying that like the wheel arch trim's not an SS trim, and like weird little things that aren't SS.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with but there were so many options back then where you can order a car a certain way. So maybe the majority of them didn't have a fender trim piece or a fender, but maybe there was a guy that did order it that way,
right?
For whatever reason, or maybe it was an SS that 5 years after he owned it, he added that. So it may still be an original. He added a part or removed a part that just maybe wasn't his thing.
It's I just find it interesting that it's the SS Chevys that seem to bring those comments into the video, as opposed to a GT Mustang or a some other a Mopar, an RT Charger, or compared to a plain one or something like that. And that's usually when I put an SS Chevy video out, I'll say here's a 67 SS, and it's like, we're fixing this, and this on it. We're not verifying whether it's an SS.
Yes.
It's just, this is what the owner's told us he's bringing us, an SS Chevy. So it's an SS Chevy, and, I'm not here to verify it. I'm just here to fix it. So because the comments just come thick and fast, man.
Is that a thing where some cars are easier to clone? I mean, is it just the fact of you throw some fender trim on and now it's an SS? So that's somewhat very easy to do, rather than changing a whole grill. changing maybe dual headlights, quad headlights, this, that, maybe those are more to make it whatever model. That's more.
Yeah, I think probably the aftermarket, and I'm guessing here, guys, so see if you can concur.
Aftermarket,
but the aftermarket availability of reproduction SS pieces has made it very, very easy to clone.
Yes.
So as someone was pointing out, there's way more SSs than there were ever made. So that's probably aggravated that situation a little bit.
Well, the other day we made a comment about the SS64 Impala,
right?
And I had made a comment to you about it didn't have a grab handle on the dash, and I went back and double checked myself, and the grab handle was like in 62.
Oh, okay.
So I just knew that an SS would have a grab handle on the passenger side dash,
right?
And my years were wrong.
But something interesting that happened, what I noticed the other day, we went down to Tommy Bosch's place to drop a car off down there, and he's got a 70 Chevelle.
Yes.
70 Chevelle SS, and it's got the SS badges on it and all that sort of stuff. And it's unrestored, shall we say?
Yeah,
would be a polite way of putting it. And I said to him, "Is it a real one?" As you do. And I wasn't trying to be cute or anything. It was a fair question. And he said, "Look at the badges." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And he said, "Look, they're all pitted. They're rough. They're faded. Nobody puts SS badges like that on a car. They put new SS badges on." And it's like, that's a good point. You could tell these badges and the trim that was SS was old.
And this
was
was
decades old. And not just a bit faded, but I mean,
this is a car that's been used. I mean, this is a car that yes, was special at the time when it was bought, but it was also just, this is my car.
Yeah,
I want to drive it whenever I want to drive it. It's not anything more than my car. So, you do kind of see an older, rougher car and then think, well, is it not a clone? Because it's kind of easy. It's a rough car. You can make an old rough car kind of look however and kind of get...
but if it's an old rough car and it's got nice new badges on it, it's like, that doesn't...
Yeah.
What are the Sesame Street? One of these things just doesn't belong. But yeah, Tommy's car is old and crusty, and he wouldn't be upset by me saying that. It is, but it is a real one. It is absolutely a real one. But it would be almost a shame to see him take those real SS pieces off and replace them with shiny new reproduction ones.
Somebody enjoyed
because
it.
It's not an SS badge anymore, is it? It's a repop badge. And as Tommy's car, as it sits there, is all of it is the real deal.
And repop or not, you also know the original stuff feels different.
Yeah,
it is different
usually. But if he does really go through it, I mean, that's the beauty of something like a 70 SS Chevelle, is you could actually probably afford to get those badges redone, like repolished and put back on the car and say, this is actually all original, all the stuff that it came out of the factory with, rather than putting Chinesium SS badges.
Yeah, and speaking of that, another thing, who has a car that is older, is not in pristine condition, and sometimes when you go looking for used parts, you don't mind finding some used parts that are kind of weathered, that are kind of old. Like you just said, it's got all these nice, original badges on it, and here you need one for the passenger side fender, and you don't mind buying one from eBay or whatever that kind of fits the car. Right. You don't necessarily want to find the brand new stuff, because then it doesn't match the rest of the car. Kind of looks out of place.
That's true. Now, back to the comments. One boat sailor, with the inflation and shortage of parts, I'm worried I'll never get my 650 fleet line on the road. Had to shift over to getting much needed work done on the house. Yeah, it's a battle, isn't it? It's a battle distributing shall we say, the wealth or lack thereof, between home and family and projects, but
and time.
And time.
You spend a couple weeks, couple months working on the car, and then you've slacked off on maybe other stuff. It's a balance, money and time.
Yeah. You were really cracking on the Chevy for a while, and then you've just gotten busy, and we've gotten busy, and you've gotten busy.
And the kid, the boys in soccer.
Yep.
Most of my weekends are soccer. Now soccer's over,
right?
For summer. Then as soon as fall hits, it'll be football.
Yeah.
It's hard to balance.
Okay. All right, where do we go? Johnny C, Mexican speak. It's a light medium metallic brown. I just never looked inside. Maybe next time I visit my son, I'll check. There you go.
Yeah.
What do we? Yeah, well, that might happen too. Mexican speak. A guy may have just bought a base model and put SS badges from the dealer we knew. Yeah, well, I mean, that happened. That happened. I know BMW with their M, with the M series, the motorsport.
Oh, M is
models.
Everywhere.
But also to buy an M badge, a BMW M badge, is very expensive. Like a little badge is like $300.
Yes.
Because they're trying to deter people from buying an M badge, sticking it on their base one, and driving around looking like they bought an M3.
Nowadays with newer stuff, your keys, the M keys are more expensive than the regular keys, the fobs. Yes, you're 100% right, and that will keep you if it's $100 more, you'll just say, I'll take the regular one.
Yeah. Okay, looks like they're talking about another Marlin. Yeah, so I've missed that. Me and Steve are chatting, which is making it a bit hard to keep up reading the comments. But there's another Marlin floating around for sale by the look of it.
Right there, people connecting. Connecting parts right here.
Johnny C, time tonight. Give me a little time to gather. It's located in the Bay Area, California. There you go. Matt Kennedy, totally agree on parts that match the patina. Did that recently with a shift knob and ashtray for my MGC GT. Cool. Todd Denai, just arranged for a 65 Marlin. It's 150 miles from me to be rescued today. Good on you, man. Firefly. Firefly's a regular here, and he's a very off the wall sense of humor. Fights off the ads. This is the kind of comments he drops in with. Fights off the ads with chopsticks. Like what?
Now, do they don't get ads on their end for some reason?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It interrupts us, and then it just drops in, like where they left off. Unless you have the pay your monthly subscription to YouTube, and then you don't get the ads.
Okay.
Chris Freemason, note to self: 3D print a bunch of BMW M badges and profit like mad. Well, unfortunately, you may not be the first person to have thought of that, but Todd, the 65 Marlin today was found in an old junkyard. Cool. Well, cars like that do need to be. Yeah, any of those old ones that are even a little bit rare need to be saved, really. Snow Crusher, am I wrong in thinking an SS Chev was nothing more than a trim package, or was there a specific drivetrain package that it denoted? Yeah, that's a multiple answers to that question. In some cases, it was nothing more than a trim package, like the 64. I don't know enough. I'm not a Chevy expert, so I don't. I did a 5 minutes of research on that 64 before we did the video. I usually try and just have a little read to see if we catch anything that might be interesting. And you could buy that 64 Impala with a 6-cylinder power glide as an SS, and 6-cylinder gigantic Chev Impala with a power glide is anything but an SS.
Yeah.
There's nothing fast about that in any way. Even downhill, they weren't fast.
I think there were times, times meaning years of production of vehicles. Also, whatever vehicle they may be releasing at the time, and they would call it an SS, maybe for some more sales, and it would be just a package.
Yeah.
But then there were definitely other times when they would really push the SS for motor and transmission combo, and I guess it just all kind of flowed with whatever promotions, if you want to say that Chevy were trying to push a vehicle.
Like the 64 came with the 6-cylinder, a 283, 327, and it came with the big block SS as well. So I think the SS was a good start. That was good badges to have, and then it was what motor really was hiding under the hood is what really determined today's value. Because you can get a 70 SS Chevelle, that's a small block car, I believe, or you can get the big block car, and then you can get that big block LS7 70 Chevelle, which is like the mega dollar holy grail of muscle cars. So there was there was multiple 70 SS Chevelles.
And would some of that be hard because of the ability to order?
Yeah. Back then you could just
even if Chevy had a specific SS, if you could still take that and then order it the way you wanted it, then that kind of threw their General Motors thinking out the window, because now, we only sell them this way, but then this guy ordered it this way. So
I don't think they ever didn't sell them with particular options, but they gave you the options, and then they sat back and saw what they had it, watched what sold and what didn't. I mean, to me, like a V6 Camaro, like a late model Camaro, they've gone out of production again now, but that Transformers era Camaro, you could get that looking like a Camaro with a V6 in it, and it's like, you'd notice on the pickup, it had one tailpipe or something like that. It's like, it's a V6. But if you could put SS shit all over it, like in 64 with your straight 6, I guess nobody really knew.
And then
it was just like, ooh.
And then I think I also remember when, what would that be, early 70s, when kind of the muscle car changed, maybe they would hold on and try to get one more year out of SS or GT or whatever, even though the cars were that was phasing out.
And getting lower and lower horsepower.
Yeah.
Right. Now, hang on. Okay. Back up and see. Oh, fuck. Computer issues. There we go. Where were we? Yep. Snow Crusher. Am I wrong? I know we already read that one. When you mentioned that picky stuff on the SS, I'm the bloke with the Valiant Pace. Well, that's okay. Valiant Pacer was a Mopar, like an A-body type Mopar in Australia.
Okay.
And they had some very high performance. The Pacer was a high performance one and had lots of little different special things that made it a Pacer. The gurus on that, which Tabo is one of those gurus. That's why he's saying he's that guy, but it's about Valiant Pacers. He just knows them backwards,
So now, when I think the Pacer in America.
Oh, nothing like that.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, that's the AMC Pacer.
Yes.
No. Not in the same sentence.
Okay. I was just double checking. I'm thinking, hold on.
No. You and I, mere mortals, can't afford a Valiant Pacer anymore.
Okay.
It's very desirable, very expensive, and but no connection to a AMC Pacer. What was it, Wayne's World?
Oh yeah.
Wayne's World, they had a
Yes.
pacer. No, not
Okay.
like that. And your Tava will be getting most upset over it.
And they fit a lot of people in that car for that movie too, didn't they? Yeah.
The Tava will be screaming at a screen. There you go. No, it's not one of them. Volfly still messing with a 1.33 LCD display. The storms that blew through last night interrupted by tinker time as the power was flickering. There you go. Still trying to get that glow in the dark screen working, are you? That see at night vision one. Hard to believe that little watch-sized display. It is a watch-sized display too. It has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. That is crazy. Now what do we got? Tavo. A bit like our GTS Monaro with the 186S. That's very true, Tavo. Yeah, they made this GTS Monaro, which was a two-door. Remember you showed me the Opala?
Yeah.
Monaris, think that, but a bit bigger.
Okay.
And it's kind of a bit like that, but they brought it out with several different V8s in them over the years, and they also brought them out with a little small 6-cylinder. But it was still a GTS, and it looked like a GTS Monaro. It just didn't go like a V8 GTS Monaro. And the 186S was, I don't know, what was S about the 186? Because it was 186 cubic inches, and they had the regular old Holdens had a 186 in it, and they made a 186S, which was supposedly more power, but I couldn't actually tell you why that was. Paul Funk, the 66 through 70 Chevelle SS was an engine package. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what the Chevy guys know, and I just don't know, and honestly don't have the time to do the research. But yeah, so that's interesting because the 64, what I read about that was it was an engine package and just a trim package. Josh Homan, good to have you here, mate. Welcome along. Volfly, the AI was fudging there. Volfly is a real computer. It was a bit of a computer boffin.
Okay.
So we were discussing AI the other week.
Oh, AI.
Ugh, AI. What are we? There we go. Volfly had to stop before the lightning strikes hit during the storm. It's a bit wild up there by the sound of it. Paul Funk, 71 Chevelle went back to trim package. All the 70 Chevelle SSs were big lot, 396 and later 454. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, not a Chevy girl. I thought you could buy a 70 SS with a small block.
So right there,
maybe a 69 Chevelle.
It was just a trim package,
right? 71, yeah.
And that would have been the era of, this many years was a motor package. This many years was a trim, and that was probably for sales.
Yeah, and also from all accounts, there was a lot of politics going on then, and certain divisions would get upset, and certain people higher up the pecking order, some of them didn't like the big horsepower. They didn't like the hot rod image, and some of them saw it as a way forward. And
if in 70 it was a motor package, and then in 71, well, we parked 3 of them out in the front lot. They have SS on the fender. How many people are going to pull in, check them out, want to test drive them?
Yeah. Todd denial. We don't have storms around here right now. We do have wildfires. Oh, that sucks. Keep that marlin away from the wildfires, mate. Now, Tavo, Valiant Pacer is to a regular Valiant what a Roadrunner is to a satellite.
Okay.
Go. That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Paul Funk will refer to the AMC Pacer as the Wayne's World Pacer. There you go.
Yeah.
Gunner is saying the Pacer that I'm talking about looks a bit like the Dart here.
All right.
But the Pacers were all 4-door sedans. They didn't have 2 doors in Aussie.
See, now y'all had a lot more 4-doors.
Way more 4-doors.
Than we would have
Way
had.
more 4-doors. 2-doors didn't really catch on. It wasn't that Australia and New Zealand wanted 2-doors but weren't allowed them. The market just didn't want 2-doors.
So I wonder what the thinking that is for. Well, we were just I don't know. Do you say young kids? We were just guys that wanted 2 doors, and then you guys wanted 4 doors, and it's like
I can't
how did
actually
that just
explain that one to you.
work
The
out?
Holden Monaro for many years was 2-door, and then then they went to a 4-door, and really they briefly went back to a 2-door Monaro, which was the Pontiac GTO here.
Okay.
The late, what was that, early 2000s GTO?
Yes.
They made a 2-door, and that was a Holden Monaro. And
Okay.
they experimented going back to a 2-door, and they didn't sell. Not in Australia, in New Zealand, and then they ditched the 2-door and went back to a 4-door.
But even though I will gravitate more, or I guess a lot of US will gravitate more to a 2-door, it is pretty nice, or it's pretty neat when you find a car that's a 4-door. Well, like what you were just saying, I would have liked the 4-door that you guys had better than our 2-door GTO.
Right.
Yeah. There's just something about it that when I remember seeing one, maybe because it was different. Maybe
right.
It was because I liked it a lot.
Supposedly, it's the New Zealand Australia buyer are they say are kind of a little more practical, and they want 4-doors so they can put their kids in the back. Possibly a different age demographic was buying. Like in New Zealand, Australia, there wasn't not many 20-year-olds were buying new cars, but here they were.
And I would say it's kind of funny here. A 2-door 2-seater is different than a 2-door 4-seater, even though you can't put anything in the back seats.
Right.
Just saying that you had the two more seats. Maybe, it's a little more practical. It's got 2 seats, but you can't use the 2 back seats. And a lot of the older, when I say older, 90s, 2000 Mustangs, you don't want to get in that back. There's no room. There's nothing back there.
Yeah, it's all right if you're 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah. Now what's Taro's? Part of saying 186S was a 2-barrel carburetor instead of a single. WW Stromberg and a mild can as opposed to the stock single barrel. There you go. Okay. So it was actually, that wasn't just a trim package. They did at least throw a little bit of extra horsepower at the 6-bag. Paul Funk, my 60 Chevelle was a SS convertible, had a 283 and Power Glide, slowest car I ever owned. Yeah, the 283, and a Power Glide, that would have worked in a little lightweight car, but like that huge first gear that they had in a Power Glide and a 283 and a full size, full-bodied car, that was slow. But I guess once you hit 70 on the interstate, I guess it didn't matter anymore. But Todd denying Chris, I don't know if you saw where I said to find my car on YouTube Shorts or not, because ads override the live feed. What do you? Okay, no, I didn't. What do you? Have you got a YouTube short up about it? Is that what you're saying? Or have you sent me a short? I'm not quite sure what you mean there, Todd. It appears it didn't post. Okay. Buddy Caro, like putting Shelby badges on a 6-cylinder Mustang is wrong. Exactly. David Torrey, my 75 Belmont 253 had the 2-barrel WW Stromberg. Oh, really? 2-barrel Stromberg on a 250. Yeah, Holden made a 308, which was its own motor. It wasn't a small block Chevy, and they also made a 253 cubic inch, which was a very small V8.
Okay.
Because they were always worried about gas prices.
And it would have just had a 1 or a 2-barrel.
Yeah.
So,
well, not a 1-barrel, but probably just a 2-barrel. Yeah.
So then, would not a lot of 4-barrels?
Oh, the 308s. No, I think the 308s they made quite a few 4-barrels.
Okay.
I believe. But gas was such a factor. Because
Okay.
gas has always been like 4 times the price of what it is here in the States. So, but yeah, Australia and New Zealand like their V8s as well, though. Tavo, correction, Kiwi. They did build VG Pacers in 2-door. Okay. But apparently none went across the ditch. Okay. To cross the ditch means to New Zealand.
Okay.
But Barracuda took one back with them. Okay. I did not know that they made it in the 2-door. Good to know.
So then how many
backseat shenanigans are much easier in a 4-door.
Oh, yeah.
I would have to take your word for that, mate.
So then growing up messing with cars, how many US imported cars did you run across?
Ooh,
I mean, let's just say 20, I don't know, 20 to 30 years old, or 18 to 25. I mean, was it something
as my age group?
Yes.
Not
yes.
many.
Oh,
No.
you didn't.
Not really. They did bring in into New Zealand. I really can't speak for Aussie too much.
Yes.
But New Zealand, there was quite a lot of Chevys. Mid-50s, they brought quite a few Chevys in.
Okay.
All 4-doors. They did not bring any private imports, sure. Convertibles and 2-doors. But like GM brought in right-hand drive Tri-5 Chevys.
Okay.
They were all 4-doors, 54s and like that 49 to 54 body shape.
Yep.
Quite a few of those came in right-hand drive 4-doors. But nothing exotic, what I call exotic. So no SSs, no 2-doors, no convertibles, no anything like that.
Yeah, so no convertible Impalas, no Chevelles.
They didn't see a market in New Zealand for them because of the price. The price was high, and gas prices were high, and they're just those luxury cars. That was deemed a luxury car,
okay,
and it just wasn't. From an importer's point of view, it wasn't worth bringing them in and maintaining them and providing parts backup for a convertible.
Oh,
like. That's the thing.
Yeah.
As a car dealer, so if you're importing Chevys from the US, if you bring in a bunch of Chevys from the US, and someone drives into the door of your convertible 56, as the Chevy dealer, you've got to be able to. Here's a new door. You can't say, we'll get your door, but it's going to be 6 months.
So it's not about just getting it here and then that's good, and then selling it. I mean, you've got to
be able to service it. You've got to have a service department that with all the books and that, so the guys can figure out when the convertible top stops working. Like what do we do now? They've got to have some books there,
and it wouldn't be worth it just to bring in 5 or something. Then why we're not because
everything was different. The doors are different, the glass is different, the trunk lid's different, the quarters are different. Everything from the firewall back on a convertible or 2-door is different.
So it's a lot more to think about than just bringing a car over.
Yeah, let's bring it in and sell it for a $5,000 profit. 10 grand or whatever the number was in the day. You've got to be able to back it up, and that's why, even some of the European cars that are available in Europe, you can't buy in Australia and New Zealand. Because the importer has decided, no, we don't think that's going to sell enough to justify the cost of actually bringing it in and selling it. It's not just, we'll take 3 of them. It's not that simple. Yeah.
More of a, I guess the way it could be more of a headache down the road for that $5,000 extra.
Yeah.
All right.
So. But nobody ever stopped people bringing them in privately.
Which
is why we have had as many Camaros and Mustangs and Torinos and Mopars and stuff like that, because people knew about them and wanted them. And it's a free world kind of countries. And if you wanted to bring in a 71 Barracuda, have at it. But the Chrysler dealer in New Zealand wasn't going to bring it in, because then he had to supply parts and he had to supply service. And he had to supply brake pads.
So what could that situation be? I mean, we're talking if you did bring something like that in and you needed months. For a part.
Yeah, and pre the internet, it was very difficult.
So that's stuff that I don't really think about.
Now you can get stuff The last time I was back in New Zealand, I needed a rag joint for the Mustang, for the steering column. And I ordered it on a Saturday, like off Summit, and it was there the following Friday. So like 6 days later, it was there. In New Zealand, it was, well, I had a Buick way back in the day when I was a teenager, and I had to get a set of pistons for it. I waited 6 months to get pistons.
Holy moly.
Because I had to rely on someone else who was going there to order them for me and order the right size and then wait for them to ship it back in a container, not air freight it. And then, for the containers to get unloaded and blah, blah, blah.
I just off the top, I would think if you had to do that a couple times, you may get a year into it and be like, I'm selling this thing. Every time it breaks down, it takes months to fix it.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah. It's not now, obviously, with the internet and air freight.
But in the old days, I'm just going to trade this off to something else that's maybe a little easier.
Yeah. Now, where were we? Backseat shenanigans in a four-door. Mexican spec. Steve, Americans were and are much more independent than people in other countries. And Americans had more cars in the family. Yeah.
Yes.
Cars were pretty cheap here in that 50s, 60s, 70s era. I mean, they were made locally, so obviously they're cheaper. Like any of those cars in New Zealand had to be shipped a long way, exchange rates and taxes and tariffs and goodness knows what. But that was a homegrown industry. Oh, it shut up the page.
Yeah, and sometimes it jumps like that.
It does, yeah. Oh, Chris, Todd and I, Chris, the YouTube short is of my car from 6 years ago, right before it was parked. Okay. And have you published that, Todd? Is that like under your channel? Go away. Damn screen. Gone too far now. Yeah, right. Now we caught up. Vilefly. With my customers who have GDI motors, I tell them to soak the cylinders overnight with naphtha and change the oil afterwards. Keeps the oil burning down. Oh, really? Yeah, GDI is gas direct injection. It's a whole nother science, isn't it? Kelvin F. Two-door doesn't have enough room for all your mates when you were cruising. Man, I had a 66, when I was like 18, I had a 66 Buick Electra, two-door hardtop. Massive car, huge car. Mm-hmm. And that was a two-door hardtop, and you could fit a lot of people in that. And there was plenty of room for backseat shenanigans. Not that I, know about that, but, it looked like there would be. Todd and I, before the AMC Pacer, there was the Edsel Pacer. Well, that's true. That's a good point.
Edsel Pacer?
Yeah.
No. I have to look that up.
Yeah, mate, that's the thing. The Edsel, there was a two-door, like a 59. I know they made them in 59. Edsel Pacer. It was a two-door hardtop. I forgot all about that. Kelvin RF. Hi, Steve. Yeah,
hello.
Yeah.
Better in a wagon. I mean, wagon. You can't. And wagons have definitely became the new craze.
They have long roofs.
Long roofs. Love to have a wagon.
Daring guy. My 67 Cutlass. Oh, that's your guy that you work with.
Oh, Daring. Okay.
My 67 Cutlass is a four-door, but it's got a 455 from a Tornado. That's the Daring guy. Daring?
Yeah, Daring.
Daring guy. He called it by the shop a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And that sounds badass, that car. It sounds mean. It's got a big cam and a big Lopi cam and
Yeah.
So he started it up, and it sounded like the engine was trying to get out of the engine bay.
It's a good looking car. It's got that look to it, that 80s drag look that I would have remembered maybe from my older brothers.
There we go. Tavo 253 Holden was a 2-barrel, 308 was a quadrojet. A lot of GM engines had quadrojets, didn't they?
Yes.
See? The boys are getting heavily into chat about the Marlins and the differences.
I hear the quadrojet was a very misunderstood carburetor until you knew how to work on it.
Yeah.
Then it was really good.
It's a good concept. Small primaries, large secondaries. So you got a good audio feedback from it, because when the secondaries open, they really roar, and that was quite a selling point apparently.
But there was a
People
lot of
like
I know how to work on them, and then a lot of
yeah,
not a lot.
They weren't. I mean, a carburetor is a carburetor. The quadrojet was still relatively simple, but people just, a lot of people got very hung up on Hollies.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Holly was the only carburetor worth a shit, and the only thing that people would work on, and don't want to work on those junky quadrojet things. But yeah, if you actually took a bit of time and figured them out, you could get them to haul. Mexican spec in the late 60s, there was his car to go to work and her car to haul the family. 2-doors were popular for the go to work car. Okay. That makes sense. The LVG, one of my favorite 4-door cars, is the 57 Bel Air hardtop. Yeah. Yep. Huge open window areas with no center pillar and a usable back seat. Yeah, I got a soft spot for the 4-door hardtops.
Anything 4-door hardtop.
Yeah. Well, cool.
In
Steve's got his Oldsmobile. That is a very, very cool 4-door.
The great thing is, from a distance, the 4-door hardtop may make you think it's a 2-door.
Same height roof.
Yeah. It may make, and then you get closer and you find out, I ran across a lot. You get closer, you find out it's not a 2-door, and you go, hey, I'm not mad at that. It looks pretty good. It's a 4-door. Yeah. Hey, but it looks good. So I like it.
But yeah, the 57 4-door hardtops are pretty popular.
Oh, man.
You pay good money for those things. They're pretty rare because they were overlooked for a long time. Because everybody wanted a 2-door hardtop no matter what. And then second choice was the 2-door post. And a lot of the drag racers use those.
And I've seen many customs. You can just shave the door handle in the back. And a lot of times walk past several cars at a car show and think it's a 2-door.
Right.
Just by glancing at it.
Barracuda, up to about 85, I didn't know the VG Pacer 2-door existed. Then I saw one getting around in Dunedin, and I thought, if I go to Australia, I'll see if I can find one. And you did, apparently. So it's very cool. Mexican spec, the government in Mexico didn't allow anything but base model cars in the late 60s. Yeah.
And was that a gas mileage thing, or was that just a trying to keep price of cars down? Or
I don't know what that would have been. I mean, Mexican spec, he'd be the man to answer that, so hopefully he will. I'm sure he knows. But yeah, it was probably an economic thing, trying to keep the pesos in Mexico. I know in New Zealand, in the late 60s, mid to late 60s, to buy a new car, you had to have overseas funds. You had to have money, like offshore money, and bring that into the country to pay for the car, because there was a lot of immigrants coming into New Zealand at that time. So there was a lot of overseas money coming in, and to buy a new car, you had to have overseas money to actually buy the car.
Oh,
yeah, which didn't go over well with the locals, because the locals had the money to buy the new car, but they couldn't. It's weird politics. Whether that Mexican can relate to that, I don't know. But There was a lot of British immigrants coming into New Zealand at that point, and most of them, a lot of them brought cash with them, and so they'd buy a brand new car. It wasn't. It was the locals were frustrated by that. Would be the politest way you could put it, because they wanted to buy a new car, but they couldn't. They were sitting there, they were available, but not to them.
It's all a money game.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Rollfly, how to tell if you're Generation X or older? We had hood ornaments that doubled as crosshairs so we could hit what we aimed at. There you go. Yes, the days of the fancy hood ornaments are long gone, aren't they?
Oh, they had some fancy hood ornaments.
Oh, yeah,
and you could get some aftermarket crazy.
It was art, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. J.C. Whitney. You could get some crazy hood ornaments off J.C. You get a lot of stuff off J.C. Whitney.
They don't exist anymore, do they?
I think they do in a brand name. The brand name was sold off or something, but there was some good days on some of the stuff you could get.
Chavo and Oz, Chevrolet Impala, Ford Galaxy, Dodge Phoenix, actually a Plymouth Fury, were perceived as luxury cars, expensive and basically the domain of politicians, lawyers, etc., mostly assembled here. Okay. They assembled them in Aussie, yeah. Yeah, see, like I had a 63 Dodge 330 when I was a kid, right-hand drive, like New Zealand. Not sure where it was put together, actually. I don't think it was New Zealand assembled, but it was had the 318 poly in it, push-button auto. But, yeah, just a four-door sedan. But that was brought in and sold as a big family car, big, wealthy family car.
Okay.
When I got it, it wasn't. I paid like $1,300 for it. It wasn't a wealthy family
used
car.
Used up then.
It was used, but yeah, it was just. See the purple on the number one there? That was the color of my 63 Dodge.
Oh.
Yeah. It was awful. Someone had painted it that color.
Okay. I thought it came in like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it was white originally. And yeah, someone had painted it that color. And they very what do they say? It got nicknamed the Ponsonby Flyer. And yeah, there were a few. If there's any Kiwis watching, they'll probably understand that reference. But it's not. Yeah, it wasn't a very nice way of describing the car. It was like taking the piss, as they say, or making fun of me in the car. But we changed it. We changed it back to white with a blue top. It was a nice car. Yeah. Chris Freeman says, Wildfly, you knew you could use the hood ornament to gauge how centered you were in the lane. Yep, you could do that.
No hood ornament. No, we don't have anything with hood ornaments anymore, do we?
No,
nothing.
No, you don't. You won't. The government won't allow it because of pedestrian safety. I wonder how many pedestrians got like tore up through some of those 50s hood ornaments, with the points and the like little aeroplane fuse, wings and pointy bits on them and rocket ship looking things.
And never thought, when did that end? Would that?
I think it was late 50s or maybe early 60s.
Yeah, it's something you just don't. I mean, I've never just sat down and
a lot of thought.
I've never sat down and thought, when was the last hood ornament?
And look at the 57 Chev with the two bolt. What do they call those little things in the hood on a 57?
Yeah, I don't know what they call them. In the out to the ends, out to the sides.
Yeah, in the hood itself.
Yes,
but yeah, between the centre line and the fenders. But they wouldn't have done pedestrians a lot of good if you slid up over the hood. But they didn't care a lot about. I mean, solid steering columns didn't do people a lot of good either. Fly, we have targeting skills, yeah. Paul Funk, American convertibles also had beefier frames. That's true, they did.
Yes.
So if someone needed a new frame, they had to, be able to supply one. Barracuda, he didn't feature many Valiants in the Australian magazines in the 70s and 80s unless they wanted to make fun of them. That's changed. Oh, goodness me, how it's changed. Yeah. Yeah, the Australian muscle cars in that 70s and 80s, and I was absolutely guilty of that, like didn't rate at all. The GT8, the GTO Falcons, and they had a small following.
Yeah.
Now it's like it's a massive following. It's like Australia woke up one morning and went, damn, we made some really good muscle cars, and everybody wanted one at the same time, and the prices went mental.
Was that a change in just people wanting muscle cars, or was it that they wanted those cars? Let's you get some people, they may like cars in their 20s. They may not really become hardcore car people till 30s or 40s. Whatever happened. So would that have been because there was just a time when people just looked at cars as cars, and then the muscle car, thought changed, and now we want them, or was it just they got popular, so now everybody wanted them?
It's why they got popular.
Yeah,
is the question. I mean, they definitely got popular, and everybody wanted them.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I guess I've got to base it on my own take on that, and as a young man into American muscle cars, anything locally made was, for me, and I can't talk about everybody, but there was a certain amount of, if it was made overseas, it was better quality. Like what we were making in New Zealand, and obviously I can't speak for Australia really, but from a Kiwi perspective, it was made in New Zealand. It was typically inferior.
Oh.
Yeah, they made stuff better overseas because they had bigger manufacturing plants, they had bigger budgets, they had more development, more R&D, more everything, and so these Australian New Zealand cars were put together. The perception was not that well. They weren't that well spec'd, and there was some truth to that because they made a lot of four-door sedans. They didn't make the fancy ones. And then they started making a few muscle cars, big 351 Falcons and 350 Chevys and Holden Monaros and stuff like that. But they still had this stigma of being locally made and therefore not as good. This is the mindset in America. America for so long has operated under, they've grown up believing that, America's the greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
We make the best shit. China makes junk, American stuff's quality, and not saying that that's wrong, but they were very confident in themselves. They didn't look to other countries. It's like, oh well, I've got a Chevy, but I'd really like a Nissan Sunny. That didn't really happen, or I'd really like a Rolls Royce.
Yes,
they didn't. They were super impressed and loved their own product. They were very confident in what they made. New Zealand, Australia, not so much. So it was just a different culture, really. But yeah, America has been. They knew they were on top of the heap, especially motoring wise. Like America did, they were the biggest and best in motoring for many decades.
But do you still think the movement to want some of these cars is just because the car thing is getting bigger everywhere? Or is it really that they look back and think they missed out on, like you said, they were there and they didn't jump on them at the time, and now they're going back and reliving their younger days? Yeah,
I think that's definitely it. Okay. Now I look back, and I had a Falcon XB GS Falcon panel van, and it's like, I wish I still had that. And I remember looking at Falcon, like the 70s XA, XB, C Falcon coupes, which is what they made the Mad Max car out of.
Okay.
And going, it's just a Falcon.
Now, I think we've had this conversation. Now, you say panel van.
Yeah.
Do you really mean van, or do you mean a panel, somewhat station wagon without windows?
Like a station wagon with a high roof.
Okay. So it's not
like the roof was 2 foot high.
Yeah, but it's not the 70s craze that we had here of vans.
No,
Okay, yeah, I think we talked about that before. Yeah, you say the word panel van. To us, the panel van was just a van with no windows.
Yeah, well, that in New Zealand, that was in Australia probably too. Well, that was a transit van.
Okay,
that was a plumber's van.
Okay,
But I think Australia and New Zealand, it just dawned on them that actually they've been too hard. People have been too harsh on their local product and underestimated it, and actually realised we did make some pretty darn good cars. And now they're kind of all gone. And I really wish I had one still. And one pops up for sale at a ridiculous price, and they go, I'm going to buy that.
I don't think we had any panel van. No. What you say? Now we had what we would call delivery. We would make maybe
it's like sedan delivery.
Yeah, like a delivery is what we would. Or some you may hear the word panel, but not the higher top, like you're saying. Is it safe to refer to that as a station wagon type?
Yeah, I mean, it's
not really correct.
It's like a ute with a ute with a cap on it, but the cap's built in.
Yeah, I don't think we had anything like that.
No, probably not
at all. No,
I'm just going to get on my phone and show Steve.
I don't think we had anything like that. But we did have panel vans, and the van craze was very big a long time ago.
Yes, that's a Falcon panel van.
Yeah, no, we had nothing that I remember like that ever.
That's noisy.
Ever. I would say maybe the closest thing that we would have had to something like that would have been an ambulance.
It's not showing up very well on the old screen, but hopefully you can kind of get the idea of that. So from the windshield forward, it was a regular Falcon, and from the windshield back, it was not. So it was really a commercial vehicle, but it very quickly took off as being, I don't know, maybe that was the beginnings of an SUV. I don't know.
No, what was that sold for? What was the thought process?
It was a commercial. It sold as a commercial vehicle. Oh, okay. And a lot of plumbers and electricians and stuff like that. They'd open the back up and load all their stuff.
And you guys just loved them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They weren't massive sellers, but they were. They were. One drove by, you didn't go, "Oh, look at that!" It was just another old panel van.
Okay.
And the one I had, I bought it with the intention of using it for a chase vehicle for the rally. We put a big rack on it, had tires on the roof, and all the gas and tools and shit in the back of it, and we go here and off around the countryside and follow the rally car and fix it on the side of the road, all out of the back of the panel van,
and that would have been the older. You know what chase vehicles have morphed into now.
Oh God,
yes, but hey, that was some early stages of. I mean, you had to carry your equipment.
Yeah. Okay, tell you what, we missed because we've been chatting, and I hope you guys are okay with it. But having someone else here chatting leaves a lot less time for reading comments. So I'm going to shoot to the end of the comments. Going to work our way back up.
Yeah, don't mean to jump over anybody.
Tavo panel van, drove like a car but carried stuff. Yeah,
okay.
It was like a wagon with a high roof and 2 doors, not 4.
Now, did you never had a van craze? Not to stay, but
not like here. No,
okay,
not like here. Though there was. I mean, there was a lot of custom Bedford vans and stuff like that. Not a lot, but they're not a lot new for New Zealand.
Okay.
Not like though we didn't have our own magazines full of custom vans and sheepskin interiors and curtains and mattresses.
Cutting the extra windows in them and all that. Yeah.
It wasn't that there wasn't that they didn't have their own magazines for all that stuff.
But even though it was
I missed the landscape paintings on the sides of vans along with the LP album art. Yeah, they did some crazy paint jobs on the vans.
But isn't that still kind of funny that you we took off with our vans, and you kind of took off with your vans.
Oh yeah. Well, the Ute. I mean, the Ute in Australia and New Zealand was massively, and still is massively popular.
So that's pretty neat.
And not here. Like it's like the El Caminos and the Rancheros never really took off here because they weren't really a truck.
Yes.
They weren't really a 1500 Ram or a F100 truck or anything like that. They were. America loved its trucks, and a truck was. See, in New Zealand, the truck is a Kenworth. You don't call a Ute a truck, because the truck's a Kenworth, or white or whatever.
It was
with different brands that didn't have to be Kenworth, but like a semi truck, like a big ass.
Yeah, it was truck. Not. I mean, it was not too long back, 10, 15 years till I knew a Ute.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw it, I said, "Hey, look, the truck and the bed are put together. Oh, that's a Ute." I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's massively popular in Australia and New Zealand. Jeff Hutchins, the Mad Max family car, the original movie. Yep, the X-Speed coupe. Yep, it was. Come on, up you go. Come on. Todd Denier, Volfly caught COVID right after my spinal surgery, and when I was in the nursing home recovering, learning to walk again, almost killed me, I'll bet. Wow.
Man.
Priest came in and gave me last rites while I was comatose. That's a little too close for comfort, isn't it? Wow. Brad Eastman, show Steve the Holden Sandman. Yeah, that was a cool van too. Josh Homan looks like a camper. Kind of does a bit. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. Johnny C, I think there are bidding wars on nearly everything today. Yeah, I miss the old local newspaper classified days. Yeah, you could snag a bargain, couldn't you? Like I remember getting the newspaper early on a Saturday morning and go looking for used cars.
Yeah.
And then try and find that one that was a bargain and dash over there at 6 o'clock in the morning to try and buy it and stuff like that. And someone had beaten you to it by 6 minutes and was driving off down the road.
Yeah.
Now, it's all auctions and internet. And Beagle Bob, didn't see you here, mate. Good to have you here. Beagle Bob, got lots of tomatoes flowering and some green beans ready. Look at you. You won't have time for your hot rods, mate, if you keep all this gardening shit going. Barry Cooter, I love the 64 Fairlane any body style. There you go. It's funny, hey, you like what you like, don't you?
Yep.
I'm old. Paul Funk, I'm old enough to remember the custom van crazes of the 70s. Yeah.
Hey, vans are coming back, just like pickup trucks have really taken off.
Right.
Get out there and do some research on the internet. The van community is really strong. They're coming back, and
like those 90s type vans and stuff?
No, the 70s vans.
Oh, the 70s?
The 70s vans are coming back very strong, and it's going to be to the point, I don't know how many people are maybe hoarding them up or have, kind of like your C10s or your F100s or whatever, but it's going to get to the point where, van doors are very specific. The two front doors, the sliding door, the hood, the fenders.
Right.
They're very specific to those vans. And if you've got them, you've got them. You can't get them nowhere else. And at the moment, nobody's reproducing them. But there's a lot of van shows that are popping up. The van craze is coming. I don't know if how strong it's coming back, if it's going to start to get aftermarket support. Right. I guess we'll see that.
Yeah, that'll play.
But there's a lot of van communities on the internet.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
So your parts could be valuable because there's no place else to get them.
Yeah. There was a guy that used to call in down to the other end of the building, and he built like a 70s van and it had the side pipes on it, and he'd done all the inside up kind of shaggy looking, and it was like, look at that, that's kind of amusing.
Yeah, I mean, think about that.
But apparently wherever he went, he kind of people were all over it.
And I mean, if something like that did take off and you had that, I mean, at least we were talking 2 doors and 4 doors before.
Right.
Fenders are the same, hoods are the same, maybe trunk lids the same, or something like that. When you got a van, it's one of one. It fit what it fit. You couldn't go get that off of a Blazer or off of a Suburban.
You don't really see them around much, do you?
Mm-mm.
Like even in the old car yard, like the few old car yards that are left.
You don't see a lot.
You don't see a lot of the vans in there, do you?
So if you needed a hood, where are you going to get it?
Yeah, back doors.
There's no other vehicle to rob it off of except that van. You could have a little gold mine if
start buying them up.
maybe the truck. Nobody thought the trucks were going to take off like they did.
Yeah,
and now the long beds are picking up because it's so hard to find the short beds.
Yeah,
I think Roadster Shop is making a chassis now for a long
wheelbase.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Trade. Doesn't want to listen to me. There we go. Jeff Hutchins, the 63 Fairlane was crap back then. Now those same people will fight over them, even a 4-door. Yeah. Times change, don't they?
Yeah.
Barracuda, this could be controversial. That's not like you, Barracuda. But I think the Australian Valiants and the Falcons are better looking than the American ones. I guess it depends which ones you're talking about. Some of the Valiants, I think were nicer looking. I think I'd go with that. The Falcons, not sure. The Falcons were pretty similar, really, but Valiants had some quite different back end treatment and grill front end treatment. Like with some of the darts having a little pointy nose and stuff that the Valiants never had, and stuff like that. The Falcons, like the 63 Falcon I've got, other than the steering wheel being on the left side, there's very little difference. Possibly the chrome side trim is different to an Aussie one, but very, very little difference in the Falcon.
Now, would you guys have had, the Falcon had the hard top? The 2-door hard top.
I don't think they made them. There was a few around.
Okay.
I can remember a few of the 2-door hard tops around, but I think Tavo and those boys will know better than me.
So it would
but I don't know whether they were private imports or whether Ford Australia made some or brought some in. I'm not sure.
So possible. I guess it'd be safe to just say the models.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But like that 2-door yellow one that I had, that 60.
Oh yeah.
68 or 9 or whatever it was. I think that was better looking. For me, I thought that was better looking than the equivalent Aussie one, mainly because it was 2 doors.
And
I liked the 2-door.
And you say that resembled more of an Aussie one. See, that car was kind of odd to me. I didn't remember that car back when it was new.
Right.
I didn't. And maybe because it just had that was just a short-lived car. They sold them, they used them, and then people were on down the road. They didn't stick around for years and years and years. And people buying them up.
They canned the Falcon here in about. They stopped making it here in about 68-ish. So they didn't, like the Falcon kept going and going.
Okay.
Into the 2000s.
So did you say 68?
That yellow one I think was around 68.
Okay.
That yellow one I had.
Okay.
That rusty one.
Yeah.
But yeah, then they just kept powering on. That's what the Barra motor is out of. That was developed for the Falcons.
Okay.
Which was just a spin-off of the original 200. The original 170 went to 200, went to 250. And then
now that yellow one was a 6-cylinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the 200. And that eventually morphed into the Barra engine.
So, see, because when you say 68 to me, I just think more of the Galaxies, more, I just don't.
Well, the Falcon was bottom of the pile.
No, but I'm saying I just don't remember that car. I just don't remember. Now, I would have been very young, but they still would have been around, let's say 10 years later, 70s, late 70s. And I just don't remember seeing that car at places or knowing anybody that had one.
That's kind of what's interesting, though, in that between the two, well, New Zealand, Australia, and America, like the Falcon was top of the pile for Ford.
Oh, okay.
Well, they had as they got a little bit later, they got into some LTDs and stuff like that, some, blinged out Falcons, and they stretched them a little bit. And they had LTDs and they had Falcon. LTDs, and there was something else they called them as well, which just eludes me. But yeah, basically the Falcon was the big car, and then they had Cortinas and Escorts and like little Fords.
So here the Falcon was
the bottom of the pile.
The smaller, even though that one you had was somewhat of a big car.
Yeah.
I guess you'd say that.
Well, it was a big car in Australia, and it was a mid-size here.
Yes.
It was a mid-size. So, yeah, but quite different. Quite different.
But we tend to love our big cars here.
Oh, gosh, yeah. You've got big roads and big highways and big grocery store car parks, and, everything's big. And hence that catchphrase they sort of say about everything's bigger in America. And they do have a lot more room to make it bigger.
Oh, yeah. My dad never wanted anything but a big car.
Right.
But he needed a big car, but he never wanted anything but a big car. The bigger, the better.
Right. Barry Kuda. I like the look of the Australian 66, 67 XR Falcon. The taillights and grille are much nicer than the equivalent year American Falcon, in my opinion. Yeah. It's probably fair. They were a little bit different. The grille and headlight treatments were different. And the other thing that's confusing a little bit on that, like here in the States, it was models were by year. You had a 66 Falcon that looked different to a 67 Falcon, which looks different to a 68 Falcon.
Oh, yeah.
In Australia, it was XR, XW, XY. They were all denoted by letters, and that might overlap. That like an XW might have run for like a 2-year period, and it might have been from June 1 year through to June 2 years later. It wasn't a year by year by year. They didn't make enough to actually be planning the 68 model in 67.
So XW, did that denote like a body code or like a?
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't like an SS or a G, or it had nothing to do with that.
No,
it wasn't.
It was
Okay,
a body code.
I got you.
Like I guess similar to like a G body
Yes.
or an A body or something like that.
Okay. Yep.
A little more specific, because a G body could have been a Buick or a Chevy or a Pontiac or with like G body.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that general.
Since General Motors used it over several platforms and whatever.
Yeah.
Regal, Cutlass.
But it was an XR Falcon. There wasn't an XR Mercury. It was an XR Falcon, and that an XW, and a model year would typically be 2 to 3 years, 4 years, and it would be that gone blank.
Yeah.
Those initials would be the XR denoted by that model kind of shape, not by the year. Here, we all know that a 66 Mustang is a different body shape to a 67.
Yes.
It's not that it was a BD Mustang and a BF Mustang.
And that's another thing, kind of like earlier when we made the comment about hood ornaments. When did they kind of disappear? When did we really quit making a new car every year? That would I think
the mid 60s it started, because a lot of cars went into a 2-year window.
Yeah.
And
but I mean,
like say the Camaro, 67, 68 Camaro.
Yes.
It's basically the same car. Some subtle differences, but basically the same car.
Yeah.
And then you went 69. 69, I think, was a 1-year only body shape, wasn't it? And then they went to the 70.
Yeah.
Which was the
70. I think that actually went kind of 70 to maybe 76 or 70.
They facelifted the heck out of that.
Yeah. The front end changed a lot.
I think it went through almost 79, didn't it?
But it really got to would you say in the 80s, when cars really would almost look the same for years on end.
Yeah. Well, they just started to realize they couldn't afford to keep changing them.
I mean, you may change the placement of the fog lights or the placement of the turn, but for the most part, they got to where they kept them the same for years and years.
But the Chevys in like a 57 Chevy, 58 Chevy, nothing similar.
No, nothing.
59 Chevy, nothing similar. No. 60 Chevy, nothing similar.
But I did find, this is not really big important, but later years you may find that Chevrolet may use a door handle in a 60 and then would use that again maybe later.
Right.
But something very small like that maybe you wouldn't have noticed right at the time.
Right.
But that's about all they use. Now they changed everything.
Yeah. Okay. Hope you guys are enjoying tonight. It's just listening to us chat quite a bit and a lot less interaction with what the comments. So and I hope that's working for you. We're not ignoring
No, and we get to chat a lot. I've worked with Kiwi many years and we've chatted a lot at work about this stuff, but he knows I still find it very fascinating I guess you could just say that I knew what I knew and believed kind of what I believed, like you said, the American thing and the way we did things and the way the cars were. And, Chris has really opened me up to say, hey, there's a lot of other stuff out there, and meaning cars. There's a lot of other cars out there. And maybe I did see them, but didn't pay attention to them. And then you give me some particulars about them. You give me how the motors are, how the trend. So then I go do my own research and I go, man, I really like that. Didn't know anything about it.
Right.
I'd like to own one of those.
Yeah. 10 Kiwi Mars. What about a 2CV convertible? What about a 2CV convertible? That's Mrs. Kiwi, like sliding in under the radar there. Tennessee Kiwi. She likes Citroen 2CV. Do you know what a Citroen 2CV is?
I know well, hold on now.
Citroen.
Not the Citroen. Is that?
Well, it's not pronounced Citroen.
But and we're taking that funny looking.
Yeah, that little bubbly.
Yeah.
Looks like a Volkswagen.
Yeah, I don't know much about them, but I know what you're talking about.
Like a birth defect Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, but I've seen a couple that are kind of neat, I guess.
Right.
But I don't know if that's because it was a custom or that was something that somebody.
I didn't know anyone had ever customized your 2CV.
Well, maybe not the word cut. Maybe painted in a different way, or maybe that's about all I know about them.
Todd Denier. I think 2CV wasn't that a Citroen? It was a Citroen. But yeah, that's a car that that's a face that only a mother could love. The 2CV. It's like, oh my goodness. Snow Crusher. One of the best looking compact cars of the 60s was the 65 Comet Caliente 2-door hardtop. That's not a bad choice, mate. That's not a bad choice. It was a pretty little car.
Now the Caliente was It
was the luxury of the luxury car.
Was it like a Grand Prix or something?
Yeah.
Right? Something like that. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, the Caliente. There was a regular Mercury Comet and then the Comet Caliente. Okay. And they had the Comet Cyclone, which was the sporty one.
Cyclone.
That was typically the V8 4-speed. And then, like the sporty one. And then the Caliente was the more luxurious, was an automatic and had plusher upholstery and lots of stainless trim on the outside.
Sporty kind of like as in muscle car, sports cars. Okay.
Yeah, more muscle car.
Okay.
Like I restored a 64 Cyclone Mercury Comet Cyclone. And that had a 289 and 4-speed in it.
Okay.
And it was almost a hypo. The traditional hypo that they put in the Shelbys. But Ford wouldn't let Mercury have the full hypo engine because they didn't want Ford. This is the politics that went on at the factory back then. Ford didn't want Mercury to have a car as fast as their Mustang.
Oh.
So they wouldn't let them have the hypo motor.
Okay.
And there were subtle differences. It was a 4-barrel 289. It had better this and that, but I think it had a smaller hydraulic cam. Don't quote me on this, guys. I'm trying to remember a few years back now. But from memory, it had a smaller hydraulic cam. The hypo engine had a high lift solid lifter cam, which was perceived back then that was the high performance, was the solid cam. More maintenance and setting valve clearances all the time. But yeah, that's the inter-mark competition in politics.
Well, like I have a friend, and we've talked, me and you've talked about 67 Mercury Cyclone GT convertible.
Right.
I didn't know they would have made a Cyclone GT convertible, but they did. Really neat car. Never seen another one in person.
Right.
So 390 motor, and but to me, it's and not making it, to me it's a Galaxy.
Right.
But I mean that's just because sometimes I look at stuff as parts.
Right.
I look at seats and stuff, and I say, yeah, that's a Galaxy.
Tennessee Kiwi. Steve, we do need more car to add to the unknown number we already have. Ooh. Someone's had a drink or two, I think. You know who that is, right?
Who is that?
Tennessee Kiwi Mars.
Oh.
A little dig about the unknown number of cars we already have.
I think you've only got like 3, don't you?
That's about it.
Yeah.
Todd Denier, Steve Billiam. My brother had a 61 Starliner with a 406. That'd be a cool car. Sly Rider, you guys follow the European vintage cars? Yeah, I have. I follow it. To say I follow them might be a little optimistic, but I do watch them on occasion, and I do really like them. Some of that early European stuff is absolutely gorgeous, and yeah, it's that's the thing. I do have a little side thing going on with some of that early European stuff. Those old Mercs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very cool. And when I say early, I don't mean 70s Mercs. I mean like older than that. Slow Rider with the bobble top. What are you talking about? The European vintage cars with the bobble top. Not sure what that is. You'll have to educate us, Slow Rider. Todd and I, the Citroen DM, or was it the SM or whatever, their wagon rode incredibly smooth. Yes, I know the one you mean. Cold War Motors, he's into those Citroens. I can't remember what they were, what the lettering was. It's something like that. Odd shaped thing, real long, like a really low pointed nose on them.
And I think
they had weird hydraulic suspension in them that like smoothed out the bumps like you wouldn't believe.
And the more we're talking about that, I think I just read, within this week, didn't that have a big square or a rectangular headlight? That car had a maybe 4 inches by 8 inches square or rectangular headlight. And the reason why I say that is I saw something where people are using those for customs.
Oh, really?
Instead of having 2 round headlights, you swap that out. And I have to look that up. I have to look that up.
Oh, Sly Rider. The bubble top was about the comment on the Starliner. It's a bubble top, not a bubble top. That's what confused me. Yeah, it's bubble with a U, like bubbles in your beer, mate. Bubble top made me think of a bobblehead.
Oh, bobble. Okay.
Yeah, he's meaning bubble top. The bubble top Chevy they're awesome, aren't they?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
gorgeous. D-Rick, Deberjack. These guys, I think they make their names extra long just to tongue twist me. I think they're just winding me up, some of them. So we just call them D-Rick. Sport Maserati Citroen. Okay. Is that what Todd was talking about, was it? Snow Crusher 61 easel 2-door hardtop was a very rare Starliner unit. 61 easel. That would be a rare car. They were about finished in 61, weren't they? Some of these, the cars that some of these guys have, like in their past, like Todd's talking about his uncle had a 67 Fairlane with a 427 4-speed. That was a screw up on the ordering. His brother-in-law laid the roof right onto the seats when he rolled it when street racing. I would have loved to have lived in that era. That when you would buy a car like a 67 427 4-speed and go street racing.
I don't know about Rick. I've got an older brother, and he's done the throw the chain over the tree, pull the motor, pull the motor in the front yard, put it back together right there in the yard, and then go run the hell out of it. And do it again a month later or whatever after just raising hell in it and messing something up. And
right.
I don't know that I ever treated a car like that.
No, okay.
Or maybe I just got lucky. I mean, I've treated a car pretty rough before and stuff, but I wouldn't say I've gone through 2 or 3 transmissions or 2 or 3 motors or in anything I've ever owned.
Right.
And I would say in the old days, running them hard and, like you say, street racing was the normal.
It was. Certainly seems that way. I can't say it was because I wasn't there, but it seems that way, yeah. And Dougie Anderson, he's an old boy that comes into the shop and visits quite regular, but he's like 81. And he tells some stories of hardcore street racing.
Yeah.
Like he had a brother that one year they were using, but that was like, I don't know what the year was, but he had some old truck and it had some engine in it and it had like a 3-speed transmission out of some weird car because it had a particular ratio first gear. And they were mixing and matching stuff big time. It was the era of hot rodding where you just got what was common at the wrecking yard, the breaking yard. And, like he tells stories of his brother would be like going somewhere and they'd pass a dismantling yard and he'd go in and say, do you have any of this transmission? And they go, oh, yeah, there's one over there. And he'd just go and get it to put in stock because they were breaking them regularly. Stuff like that. But,
man, that would have been good. I mean.
But you go and pull your own transmission out of a car for $10, carry on.
But I think you had to work with what you had. It seems like
there wasn't any trim at 5-speed conversion kits.
Well, it seems like everything now, even if you could go get, which you can't, I guess, 8 or 10 700R transmissions at a pull apart or whatever it is. But then right off the bat, you'd want to take it apart and build it. Yeah. You'd want to do all this aftermarket stuff to it rather than just kind of like what they did. Run what you had.
Yeah, well, that transmission, it just came to mind. It was like a LaSalle transmission or something. Okay. Because they were, I can't remember what it was, but they were something special about them. And they used this engine and a LaSalle transmission and a 2-speed differentials and all sorts of weird stuff going on. But they made some pretty angry hot rods from all accounts. I mean, it wouldn't be fast by today's standards, but they were fast in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, a 427 4-speed Fairlane is going to be a quick car.
Well, and fast for your competition. Fast of what the other boys were pulling out of the junkyard, too. Yeah. You're pulling your parts out of the junkyard. They're pulling their parts, and we're putting it together.
Yep.
Fast for all the competition.
Very true. Jay Leno ordered a 65 Galaxy with the lot on behalf of his father. There you go. with the lot. Mm. Yeah, that was the sort of thing that went on when his Fairlane got totaled. He put the engine and transmission and rear end into his 40 Ford pickup.
Yeah.
That would have been scary. Good grief, that would have been scary. A 40 Ford pickup. Yeah.
Yeah, if you spent time building something and then you did wreck it, pull it out and keep it, put it in the next car.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be.
Jeff Hutchins, anyone remember the brick 67 Valiant that came in third in the one lap of America race? No. Steve Billing, my first car, Kiwi, was a 56 Ford mainline U in 72, paid $120 for it. I was 15. So you know what a 56 Ford looks like, right?
50. Yeah,
Right.
56 Ford.
So they in Australia they imported those and they converted them into utes. And they were called a mainline ute. Yeah.
Why would they come? I mean,
because Australia wanted utes, and they that was the cheapest way to get them.
Man,
they would convert them, and then this was before they really started making their own cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, they called them a mainline for some reason. It probably was a reason. I just don't know what it was. But
so you guys wanted.
Yeah,
it's just so.
For the farmers, and the farmers in the outback and stuff, they needed something like that. They needed to be able to move stuff around, and they didn't really want, like the F1 what was around. You could buy an F100 truck in 56, but they wanted utes were the thing.
Huh?
Yeah, utes were the thing. Snow Crusher, Todd Denai, you're right through though, because 61 model years were built in the previous year to the model year. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Todd Denai, Snow Crusher, 60 was the last year for Edsel. It was 1 year only design and was only made for a few months to meet legal obligations with the dealerships. It was gone by March of 1960. Okay.
See, and when I think Edsel, all my brain thinks about is that crazy front end Edsel
horse collar.
I just keep.
They called it the horse collar. Yeah. Yep. Slow ride. It was a 12-second. 12-second car is a quick car, man.
Yeah.
Jeff Hutchins, Barry Cootie. Yep, that's it. Beat the crap out of a few dozen high-dollar supercars with a small block. Yeah. Small block's one of the best V8s ever made. You got to give it to it. The small block Chevy was a little gem. Better engine than the big block Chevy. The small block. On a power to cubic inches to weight ratio, the small block's a better engine and responded better to hot rodding.
Yes, I was waiting for you. Yes, I was waiting for you to say better once you got your hands on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Firefly fried lots of transmissions and motors, horsing around. Well, yeah. Snow Crusher mainline was a Ford car model. Yeah, well, they called it a mainline ute in Australia, but Tavo mainline was a production model built on the line as a ute, locally pressed panels. Oh, everything was locally pressed. Interesting, but yeah, this is what's cool about this thing on a Tuesday night is you learn stuff. And I thought they were converted. Maybe it was the earlier ones that were converted. The first utes were 34 Fords, Chevs, and Dodges. Yeah.
Man, to have some of those here.
Yeah.
I mean, there is some, but I mean, wow.
So the main line was actually Australian pressed panels. Interesting. I didn't know that.
And I guess the closest thing we would have had in my head, what was the Ford where the F100 where it was connected?
That was a 64, where the bed was part of the cab.
But we
63 or Ford
never used the word or promote it as ute.
No, it was a truck.
Not at all.
But yeah, that was only very briefly made that because they had they flexed so much the doors would pop open.
Okay.
that they needed that separation on the chassis that the trucks had. They twisted so much that the bed had to be separate from the cab
and
to allow it to move through a different.
And I don't know that it should be called a ute, but under the category of what like you guys never referred to or talked about like that.
But like if someone's imported a F-150 truck, late-ish model one into Australia, say they'll still call it a ute. Typically, some people probably call it a truck, but a truck is pretty much reserved for like an earth-moving truck or a semi-truck or something like that.
Yes.
Not something that might be owned by a private person. Like you don't take your dump truck to church on a Sunday, but you can take your pickup truck to church on a Sunday if you want it, if you go to church.
Yeah, but I mean, we still, it's nothing to see still, 60 model, big Chevy, I don't know if you would, 3/4 ton, farm, for us, farm trucks, I guess you would say. They've even become kind of popular. You would see that at a Cars and Coffee on a weekend, with a big flatbed on the back and stuff.
Right, just heavy duty.
Yeah, big heavy duty. Almost categorized as a like you're saying, a hauler truck. But we always wanted our trucks, and we always bigger the better.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It always fascinates me or makes me smile. Fascinates me the right word, but makes me smile when Cadillac Coupe de Villes, 20 foot of car and 2 doors.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Why not? But at the same time, why?
Yeah.
Why do you need if it's a 2-door? Typically, you don't buy it to move the family around.
And those were your 2 doors, still plenty of room in the back seat.
Oh, yeah, tons of back room.
The door is so long, easy to get in and out of the back. Kind of like we talked about before. Sometimes the 2-door 4-seater, it's useless. Back seats are useless, but not in our big cars. Loved our big cars.
Yeah, but those big Cadillac. Coupe de Villes and convertibles.
What about that big car we looked at, me and you? What was that, 6-8 months ago? Was that a Thunderbird? The white car. We went to the guy's house to look at the cars. What was that? Was that a Lincoln Mark something?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Ooh, big car.
That was a big car. That was a 2-door as well. Yeah, that's where they had that SS Chevelle.
Front end
a bunch of
long.
Yeah. And I love that car. Because it's ridiculously big.
Kind of weird how big the front end was, and still that much motor, and then how huge the fan shroud was.
Yeah.
Deep fan shroud, and still your radiator, and still your header panel on front of that.
Yeah.
Like what did they need all that for?
Well, and then picture now in your mind the little Alpine.
Oh yeah,
where the engine we've had to tuck back into the firewall. And the front of it's 1.5 inches away from the radiator.
Well, I still
the radiator's at the front of the car. There's that. The whole front of that little car would fit where the engine went on that Lincoln.
Yes.
And it's just it's kind of wild when you think about it in those terms. Anyway, we're running out of time. It's 9:01, and. Cab on frame, choose your own tray or box, whatever. A truck is a truck equals a truck in Aussie. Okay. Todd denied F100 unibody. They buckled under loads and the doors wouldn't open or close. Ah, okay. I heard they popped open. Okay.
They just couldn't flex.
Yeah,
I mean something had to give.
Yeah, they flexed, but they flexed and stayed flexed.
And the door strikers and all weren't great back then like they are now either, weren't they? It was somewhat easier for a door to pop open.
Yes, yeah, the latches were in
The
the skirt.
latches were not.
No. Stephen Billings, trucks in Australia are road trains. Yeah. Yep. Jeff Hutchins, if you get rear-ended by a Freightliner in your Battlebird 2000 Suburban, the front doors pop open, but they'll close back up and be fine, mostly. Just got to slam them a bit harder there, mate. I might have to go back and read the comments at a later time.
You'll have to show me some cars too. Some of these comments on stuff. We'll get together and look at some of these cars and you know.
Yep. Geez, snow crushers. Now they build cars and trucks with the motor under the dash. This is true.
Yeah.
It's a pain. Honestly, the reason for that is to get the slope on the windshield, to get them to cut through the air, to get the mileage up. So that's all driven by the EPA. And it makes it just a bitch to work on them. It's terrible, but, it gets an extra 3/4 of a mile to the gallon. So all the government boffins are happy. Oh, yeah, Jeff Hutchins. Pacers had a long door, but only on the passenger side. Yes, those AMC Pacers had a longer door. They were asymmetrical doors.
Really? See,
Yeah.
the
passenger side door was longer to make it easier to get in the back
okay.
than the driver's side.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah.
Just maybe something I just never picked up, right door, left door. I never picked up on it.
That was a thing that they did, and it was the AMC and those, they tried quite a few pioneering things, like different things like that, and the public, and this is across the board too. I believe it's like that in Australia and New Zealand and America. The public likes a little bit of change, but not too much change.
Yeah.
Like if you go a little bit radical, and hence the Edsel fell on its face.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended, but because of the face of it.
Yes.
It was just too much for them. They couldn't deal with it.
But also different. I mean, just being different.
Yeah, but it's too different. It's too
know.
different. Like people liked a new model each year that was different, but it still had to look like a Chevy or a Ford or whatever.
Yeah.
But AMC comes out with their like I remember Rambler had a station wagon, and the back of the roof you could slide forward. Like there was a big steel section of the long bit of the wagon roof, and you slid it forward, and it made it almost like an open air ute. But instead of having no sides on the ute, it had side windows because it was a wagon.
Yeah, it had to be low numbers, and
6
months later leaked like hell.
That I don't know about. But yeah, they had a. You look it up, Rambler wagon with a sliding roof, and it slides from the back. You drop the tailgate down, and you push the roof forward, and then you could put your big load in the back of it, and off you went, stuck out above the roof line, or stand grandma up in the back or something, or with a Zimmer frame, and they hang on granny.
I got some cars to look up. I got some cars to look up.
Mate, it's never ending, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just every time you think you've got a pretty good handle on it, it's like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So, Snow Crusher. AMC Pacer was supposed to be powered with a GM Wankel engine, but GM dropped the program. Yeah, you know what the Wankel engine is?
I know what the Yanko is.
Not the same.
No,
the Wankel's the rotary, like the Mazda rotary, like the RX-7 rotary.
Yes.
That's Wankel.
In a
Wankel.
In a what? In a GM?
Yeah. No, AMC.
Oh, AMC.
Pacer.
Okay.
They were going to put them in a Pacer.
Oh, they were going to.
So, yeah.
Okay.
They dropped it, but it was powered with the GM Wankel engine. The GM dropped the program. GM were looking at the rotary. Rotary was a neat idea.
So you say they were looking at it?
Yeah.
What was that motor was in something or was in?
That I'm not too sure.
Okay.
To be honest, but I know GM were flirting with it, shall we say? They were looking at it, but quite a few car companies looked at it.
Okay.
They put a rotary turbo. Will probably know about this, but they made a big Holden sedan, which is like the decent sized car, like a G8 size car.
Okay.
So mid size here, I guess. They put a rotary in that. Japanese market. The Japanese wanted a big car, so they went to Australia and said, "We'll buy your Holdens, less motor and transmission, right? No motor and box in it." This is what Mazda did. Took the Holdens over to Japan, put their rotary motor and transmission in, and said, "Here, look at our big car." Because in Japan, a mid-size,
It's big.
it's huge, it's massive.
Okay.
And they put a rotary in it, and they're like rare as rocking horse shit now, and like worth a lot of money because they only did it to a few of them.
Okay.
Because the trouble with the rotary is it has very little torque, but lots of power. And what you need on a big car is torque. So they didn't drive great, and of course they put an automatic in it because it was a luxury car. So an automatic rotary was always, behind the 8 ball before it even started. So there's so many weird and wonderful cars out there.
Well, I'll start looking up some of these things. I will watch me some videos and try to learn about some of these oddball
Snow
things.
Crusher 50s Morris Miners were to be powered by a flat boxer motor, but just an inline 4 in the end. Mate, I've played with a few Morris Miners, and I had no idea. I'd never heard that before. A flat boxer motor, like a Volkswagen engine, because it wouldn't have been a Subaru because they didn't exist, I don't think. Jeff Hutchins should have put a Ford V4 in the Pacer. Yeah, V4s weren't Ford's finest hour, to be fair. Yeah. Todd Denier, Mazda even put rotary engine in pickups they failed to sell. Yeah, the rotary is a sports car engine. It's a high performance engine, and in a pickup truck, no. Yeah, Andy Nickel, my buddy, had a Mazda with a Wankel, almost unlimited RPMs. Oh, they'll spin. They'll pull 9,000 RPM, no problem. Jeff Hutchins, those Mazda rotary pickups are big-ass dollars now. Yeah, I bet they are. It was just going to be Morris' own engine, taking the idea from a Jowett Javelin. Good grief. There's so much history, isn't there, guys? There's so much stuff. So it's been an interesting night, and we are out of time. Poor old Steve-O's got a 20-minute drive home.
Yep.
So we're going to have to sign off, and I might actually go back and read all the comments because so as I say, I hope you guys enjoyed it tonight and just listening to us prattle on, and we didn't get to interact with you as much as I kind of normally do. But from what I could see, you guys were chatting amongst yourselves, so hopefully that it kind of all worked out well and you enjoyed yourself.
I hope everybody had a good time. Yeah.
So let us know. Let me know. However, keep commenting on here after we sign off, and I can catch up with it in the morning or whatever. Or let me know what you thought of it all. And and if it was fun, we'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, we'll do it again sometime.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Andy Nickel, good show. Thanks, Steve.
Have a good night.
Great night, everyone. Thank you, Chris and Steve. So what's Firefly? This is Firefly. Okay, the cheese is sliding off my cracker. I need some food. Oh dear. Bill Bob is drinking. He's having bourbon. Mate, look at this. I'm out. That's my last sip. Cheers, boys. Okay, I'm going to sign off. Take it easy. Have a good week, and we'll see you next week. See you guys.
How about? Yeah, I was going to stand up. Oh.